I feel like I'm on the ball today. I even felt exempted from the law today. It's like this revelation dawned on me. It's so amazing, help support the cause. I get everyone involved. I feel like I'm on the ball today. I even felt exempted from the law today. It's like this revelation dawned on me. It's so amazing, help support.
I get in and out. Let's go. Welcome to another Nudelberg Daily Huddle. Excited to be here with you guys on this Thursday and episode 969. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. 31 to the big 1,000 back in the seat. Thursday, if it is your first time watching us or joining us, that is our president and the guy who runs the direction of our company, Mark Nudelberg. I am Jake Nudelberg, director of success. And at the bottom is always Shay Money, the director of making it happen. And damn, are we making it happen, guys?
That we are. I got to tell you, in terms of family business, we added another component to the family business, which was working with your stepdad, who's a recruiter.
Yeah.
And
that is,
we've actively, always been looking for people to add to the team. Yeah. And the man hits that out of the park on his first candidate.
So, shout out to my mom, contributing value still to the family, right? I mean, you know what I mean? But I was actually thinking this the other day. I go, what a wild way of it happening is that we go to our cousin's graduation, high school graduation, who invites my mother and my stepdad, who then have a conversation, who then leads us to working together, of him being fired up, understanding what kind of company we have.
Unreal.
It is super cool how it comes together. It really is. I don't mean to sound like the UCLA coach, but it's exciting.
So, first of all, for those of you who have not seen Deshaun Foster step on stage and absolutely butcher his introduction to the Big Ten on Media Day, talk about lack of preparation.
I wish I had the video. We were laughing about it. He's the head coach of UCLA, so I imagine he's making $5 million a year minimum to coach for that team. It is their first introduction. For those of you who do not know, there was conference realignment. So teams are in new conferences, playing new teams for the first time, in front of new media members for the first time. This is your first introduction to them. And when I tell you he gave a 30-second speech,
the line of the century is we're in LA.
Well, honestly, you guys should go watch it, but this is a head coach of the football team. He talks about the athletic department first and says UCLA and the Big Ten, great partners. He starts off really well.
I liked where he was headed. He was like, emblems coming together, represent championships,
UCLA, 123 championships within the athletic department. He goes, and as for the football team, we're excited. And he goes, for the football team, you might not know a lot about us, which if anybody covers football, UCLA football, right? It's not, you didn't just fall on this earth. And he goes, we're excited. And we're in LA.
We're in LA with USC.
And he pauses and goes, with USC. And then sits there and then giggles, and then looks to the side and then goes, yeah, I'm just excited.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Deshaun.
I think a lot of people, when you get in front of young people, especially you, they ask you, how do you develop that public speaking muscle? You
gotta. It's all about preparation. 1,000%. I totally understand. Deshaun Foster has never been in a room full of that many media members, right? He's been in press conference rooms before. He's done post-game press conferences. He's been around reporters. For sure, he's never been in front of a room that big with that many reporters. So, dude, you didn't put together a hit list or And for me, this is about recruiting. For me, this is about brand and about recruiting. And so, like, you've already started to build the board, and you've already started to build that pipeline of kids that you're recruiting. If I'm a parent and I'm watching Deshaun Foster at media day and that's what he gives me as his brand, I'm like, oh, brother, I don't know if I'm sending my child to him.
Right, and I think it's interesting when you're competing against a guy, and his name, Matt Rule, who is the head coach at, and I love that we're talking football, by the way. It means we're getting close.
Correct.
But Matt Rule, who is the head coach in Nebraska, who has coached all over the country, was at Temple, Baylor, was in the NFL for a little bit, didn't work out in the NFL. I think he's more suited for college, which is a lesson in making sure that you know your talents and where you are going to strive. But he said something, he goes, it's hard for me to meet somebody and in a week later tell them that they should be playing for me. He goes, that's unrealistic,
Right.
you know? And so you're competing against a guy like that who is very authentic, is better with his words, is able to articulate his thoughts and his messaging and his coaching, feels like a much better guy to go play for, you know, to develop as a human being, which is still super important in college football coaching. But hopefully
just butchered the opportunity. Like, I think that's the real point, is that, like, you had an opportunity to elevate. And like Coach Mike says, you know, it wasn't great. Let's not avoid the conversation of, he's big for the culture. Former player, black head coach, building an all black staff, like important for the culture and the movement of getting more minorities into these seats. That's not the look. That's not helping us create more progress.
Missed an opportunity to express his values, his the demeanor of his football team, the players on his football team. But anyways,
speaking of values and preparation, the way that we start every single day, the way that we prepare ourselves every single day, is the daily affirmation, correct?
Well, hold on.
And you're just like him, just like the reps.
We gotta wake up first.
Okay, so now we can get to the daily affirmation. So Shay, throw it up there for us. Jake, you want to read it or you want me to read it?
Do it.
All right. Are you going to stand or are you going to crumble in the face of everything? Stand still. Gabby Douglas, American gymnast, 3-time gold medalist. I know we're talking about the Olympics, but this is a really important affirmation because I had a coaching call yesterday with one of our clients, and it was more of like a tag in from Dad. It's one of Dad's clients, and they are a high performer. They have consistently been a high performer in terms of results through their career, and they've hit a bit of a skid, right? The results all of a sudden aren't there. Doing the work and focused on the work, but had a couple deals fall apart, had a couple opportunities fall apart, and all of a sudden the confidence is shaken. All of a sudden it's like, do I love the work? Do I love this? Right. And like, that's an Olympian telling you in the face of everything, you stand still. You don't squirm. You don't start to shake. You almost absorb it and embrace it and go, right, this is why I'm built different than everybody else. And that was really what my conversation was about with them yesterday, was like, good for you. You've always had success and you've always been able to do it. You just got hit with some adversity. You don't think all high performers get dealt adversity, whether it's an injury, whether it's in terms of Olympians. And we talked about this yesterday. What happens if you don't perform your best on the Olympic stage? You get a bronze, you get a silver, you don't medal. That's gone. That opportunity is gone.
4 years.
And so it doesn't matter how many world championships you've had. Doesn't matter all the other accolades. You missed that one.
Right.
And you got to deal with that. You got to come back from it. And so that I such an unbelievable affirmation to start. And so, so relevant to what we're talking about.
And I do want to shout out LeBron James and Coco Gauff, who, if you don't know, got named the 2 flag bearers. And I do want to pose a question to you and kind of to the audience. I don't know that winning a medal in basketball and tennis is the most important thing of either of these athletes' career. I think it's a big moment, right? But winning a Grand Slam, I think Coco Gauff saying winning the U.S. Open was much bigger than winning a gold medal. Now, granted, right? Like it's a big moment, right? Now,
right,
how
so counterpoint.
Right?
I would say it's not the biggest moment in their sport.
Yep.
It may be the biggest moment in their career, because I don't know that there's a better honor than representing your country.
100%. And it's the first time ever a tennis player will bear it for America, which is amazing. And would be remiss to not say it's a Black female, which is absolutely unreal. It's 2 Black athletes representing our country, which is amazing, and so I would say, do you have any issue with other Olympians not having that, though? Like it's
not being the ones carrying it?
Yeah. Is there any?
Not really.
An Olympian, right? Like, because I don't think you refer to tennis players and basketball players as Olympians, where other sports,
swimmers, gymnasts,
right?
Track athletes.
Right,
But you and I had this conversation about the Lakers drafting Bronny.
Yep.
I think this is the same conversation. It's a marketing decision, right? Like, who's going to get the most?
I love
pulls up 3-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good.
This is not about who's the best Olympian carrying the flag. Yep. This is about who's going to get the most social media coverage, who's going to be talked about the most in the news, who's going to create the most buzz, which I would tell you I think is a way different conversation for the Lakers than the Olympics, because the Olympics are struggling to get coverage.
It's the same reason why Snoop is involved.
Right. Like,
and all her daddy.
You got to get eyeballs on this thing.
Right. Dwayne Wade, like NBC has completely shifted their philosophy on covering the Olympic Games, because 4 years ago was an absolute bomb. And I don't know if that had anything to do with the pandemic, it getting delayed. There were a lot of other, and it would be 13 hours ahead. There were a lot of other things that contributed to that being a bomb. Obviously, in Paris is a little bit easier, but I just thought it was interesting, because they just did the top 100 athletes of the 21st century or whatever it was. And Michael Phelps was named number 1. And now is Michael Phelps the greatest athlete? Like, right? Like, you kind of go, well, he's the most decorated Olympian, which I think Katie Ledecky has a chance to pass him.
She has a chance to pass him this year, yes.
Correct.
And
she can overtake the amount of medals.
She just flies. She flies.
But I want to really I want to kind of just zoom in on this decision, because I think it's a great lesson for everybody. And I'm actually going to be speaking to the Construction Executives Association next Monday, not this coming Monday, but the following, about marketing. Like, this is a marketing decision because they know they need more eyeballs. And most problems in your business come down to 2 things: not good enough marketing or not enough marketing, and no real sales process or no discipline to how to sell it. So, but even if your sales is struggling, I guarantee you can point back to a marketing issue, meaning you're just not getting enough awareness. You're just not getting enough eyeballs. Not enough people know about it in order to decide whether or not they're going to watch it or not watch it or be involved with it or care about it. And so good for them for recognizing that, like, regardless of all the other problems that we could have faced in last time's Olympics, we got to do a better job of marketing it this year. And I think they're trying to do that.
From people that I'm having conversations with, it seems like people are very excited about it, a little bit more than normal. It does feel like there's a general buzz around it, because because look, even it's so awesome when you get into these times where sports has a lot of parallels to business, you know, and everybody starts to look at it. And the more like, because I pulled an article from Forbes, you know, was the original content we were going to do, and how comparing resiliency in business, you know, of how an Olympian operates. And it was really fascinating within the article. I don't know if you read the article or went into it, but how they qualify or, you know, quantified or qualified.
Yeah, they had 6 different categories that they graded
solvency, sales, technology, global operations, talent, and sustainability, which I thought was 6 amazing ways to break down a business, you know, and talking about how more people spent on the different categories and were better off than the ones that didn't, even though that they were, more cash positive in the set. Like it was this whole different philosophy, and all these percentage points led to the forecast being the ones that spent and were willing to try to grow and go through we talked about it. What was it? Oh, you talked about it in your trading with First Point was the growing pains.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Like of feeling that. And like the only way that you were going to get there, you said everybody, you go, what happened when you were getting taller? And everyone was like, it hurt. Everyone's like, right. Right. Like it's the only way to like make that parallel. So I thought it was a really interesting article on how he broke it down, this one guy.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool the way that they talked about the future of those companies, and the ones that were projected to have the highest profitability and be the most successful were the ones who rated highest in those categories, as opposed to top line revenue or even net revenue. Like it wasn't really about actually the dollars that were being brought in. It was more about the way the organization was investing in the infrastructure and the growth. And they really focused on 2 things at the end of that article, which I thought were really interesting, which was talent and technology. And I asked this question yesterday in my post, which didn't get a ton of traction, which I thought was interesting. But the question I asked was, what's got a better return? Is it $20,000 in advertising, or is it $20,000 in development? And that article will tell you that hands down, it is $20,000 in development, whether it's development of the people, whether it's development of the infrastructure, development of the technologies, the investment into those things have an exponential growth curve, because of the things that you're investing in are things like skill development, are things like quality of talent, are things like the systems and processes that allow the talent to develop the skills, and then investing in the technology to make them more efficient, more effective, which all significantly grows the, overall output of the business exponentially.
And it was interesting because while I was doing research for this show, I'm reading different articles, getting into different things. And I think I was on Inc. and Inc. Rated the best workplaces in America, or it was something along the lines. And they had different criterias for how they ranked. And then there was like a quiz that you could take to see. It was, just kind of asking you questions on what you thought would be the best workplace. And, one of the things. But the question was, one best workplace that was ranked has an unusual way to help employees speed up their careers. What is it? And I found it was weird that they used the word unusual, right? Because the answer was Cloudforce Inc.'s best workplace gives employees up to 8 hours a week for training suggested by its professional development path app, right? So that's 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like, and that was unusual, right? Because
nobody's doing that. There's so few companies that are doing that.
That's an hour and a half a day, a little more, right? An hour 45, an hour 40, which is not an inch. Like, who's working for 9 hours straight in a day, right? Like, that's impractical that you're that deep for 5 straight days. And so to give somebody up, to use their lunchtime, to use anything, it was really interesting to see that was one of the main criteria that people loved.
Yeah, because this is what people want. Like, and this is my entire point to the organizations that we work with about training and development. If it's not a system, if it's not a full baked out plan from how somebody enters into your organization and then hopefully eventually retires with your organization, then you don't have one. You have an onboarding process. That's way different than a training and development system, because training is something that you do, not something that you did. We go to the gym for our whole lives. We run and move for our whole lives. You consistently have to put your body through the stresses if you want it to continue to grow. It's no different in your professional skill sets. It's no different as a business in the way you train your people. You have to consistently train on the fundamentals, and then you have to continuously add the new skills, the new technologies to that, so people have the ability to develop and grow. And if you don't have a leadership plan, if you don't have a leadership training, if you don't have it outsourced to somebody else, which is fine, because we do that for a lot of people. I highly recommend people do it for themselves, and we help other organizations build it for themselves. You have no real way to develop somebody from an entry-level employee to a leader, and that's no plan is a plan for failure.
And I think if you're forcing them to learn it on your schedule, you're probably going to lose them, right? I think there has to be, and they talk about the app that they have for that, company. We have our system, which we deploy to companies that allows people to learn. Like, you give them some guardrails, right? And you say, hey, it's got to be done in 4 weeks. You should have some progress every week, and you're judging them. There are reports and statistics, and
it's a system. It's a plan.
That allows them to learn when the best that they feel suited. Because I don't think anybody, if you remember school, like, some people were really good in the morning, some people were really good in the afternoon. Like, it's not a one size fits all. And so
nobody likes to go sit in a conference room and train all together anymore. Like, nobody likes to do that. Nobody likes to do it for a full day, right? So, like, all of those things just don't fit. We're coming up on time. We haven't even gotten to motivational morning music yet. So let's go to that, and then we'll come back and we'll close the show real quick.
Last night a little dancer came dancing to my door. Last night a little angel came pumping on my floor. She said, come baby, got a license for love. And if it expires, pray help from above, because in the midnight hour, she cried more. With a rebel yell, she cried more. In the midnight hour, more. With a rebel yell, more.
Not sure that there's a better way to head into your Thursday by going more. Go get after it and finish the week the right way. You got today and tomorrow to kick this week's ass.
Who do we have tomorrow in the hot seat?
Tomorrow we've got Callie Williams with us, the director of sales at Oceans 234. She is an unbelievable young, bright entrepreneur. Cannot wait to have her on to share her story about risks she took early in her career, stuff that she's built and walked away from, and what it's like now to be in a family business. So it's going to be absolutely awesome.
It's going to be fantastic. Are you hosting it, right? Or is that?
I'm hosting it tomorrow. I will be running the show with her, which will be a blast. Jake, thank you for writing a wonderful show today. Great conversation about development, growth, high performance. If you are looking for more of that, you need to be a part of our GOTB community. Either go to our website, sign up for our newsletter, or just reach out to one of us and learn about ways that you can get 1% better every single day. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down,